to episode 3 of Man Up with JMO. So the purpose of these videos is just to kind of push that positive living out there, and that having that positive mindset, and where that will get you in life, And anyway, this is episode 3. Hey, Mom, I see you on there, and we're gonna have Jordan Hubbard on tonight. So Jordan Hubbard's got an interesting story. It's really great. I've been following what he's doing for quite a while now, and it's just a huge inspiration, like on a fitness level, and just in general, just his positivity and all that. Hey, Kyle, how you guys doing? Hey, Nate, I seen you in here. Alex, what's up, man? So yeah. Anyway, this is episode 3. What's up, Patty? Zach, man up. Every time you always got to hit me with that. What's up, Freddie? Where you at, man? I thought you were gonna be my host, my side host over here. What's up, Consuelo, Carmen? So we're just waiting for Jordan to pop on here, but so yeah, let me just kind of. What's up, Kyle? How you doing, man? So let me kind of just recap last week. Last week we had a great guest on. It was kind of a spur of moment thing. One guy that was trying to get through couldn't get through, so we kind of had to modify and adapt at the end. But that's all right. What's up, Brian? How you doing? Janiqua, I think your dad's doing a show the same time too, huh? Shame on him. All right, I see you, Jordan. We're just gonna go right to it. We're just gonna get Jordan on here right away. I just invited him in. Hey, Lucy, how you doing? So if everybody wants to leave, their questions towards like the end of the show, I got a few questions for them, trying to get them rolling or whatever, and then and then we'll just kind of leave them towards the end. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, brother?
You look good, man. You sound good. Everything good on this side?
Yeah, you hear me good?
Yep, you're good, man. So I've known Jordan for a long time. Since he was younger, and kind of lost touch for a while or whatever. And then I think just social media, we kind of met back up, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then I kind of seen what he was doing, and I was just in the process of starting my progress and, my journey. And so I would look to his stuff a lot. I haven't even told him that yet, but I look to his stuff a lot and just see him as an inspiration. He was always pushing that positive message. So when I decided to start doing these shows, like he was definitely one of the first people that I was like, yeah, I got to get him on here for sure. He's a super busy guy. So I'm glad you're in, man. So if you just want to start with like, kind of introduce yourself and all that, and just kind of what you're doing now, and then we'll go into the rest of it.
Okay. Well, I'm Jordan Hubbard. I'm born in Moses Lake, grew up there. Basically, I was just gonna, I wanted to start off by saying that, I'm going to tell my story, right? I want to go into my testimony, but I want you guys to know that I'm not trying to glorify anything that I did in my past, or anything like that. It's just kind of to make people aware. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes those details kind of just validate,
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat, man. When I started all this, one of the toughest things was self-promotion. And I know you have to do that with your thing, and it's tough, man. It's almost like you're putting it out there and you're like, if you were the guy on the other side, you'd be like, look at this guy over here. What's he trying to do? But I don't see your inbox, man, but I already know what you're getting, and that level. And that's what drives you and pushes you, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
All right. So if you wanted to start with really, you don't have to go too much into before, you can if you want. I was kind of just thinking that moment when you decided the change, when you wanted to make that change in your life, and kind of what inspired you and what pushed you and all that.
Okay. Well, yeah. So basically, I grew up, in a good house, my sister, my family, we're all tight knit and everything, so it's not like I was raised bad, so it didn't stem from that. But, I just caught up in the wrong crowd, man. Just like most people do. So, I started drinking and partying at a young age, and, I enjoyed it. I wasn't really aware of where it was going to lead as far as, my future. I wasn't really worried about that. It was going to school and having fun, and then not going to school and having fun, but, one thing led to another. And I didn't really want to touch too much on like as far as like getting too deep into it, but I do want to let people know that it got like bad enough to where I did lose everything. At one point I was, you know, I did really good. I was working at REC, you know, I was making good money. And then, you know, I was like on and off with drug abuse. But then it just gradually got worse. And the more money I made, the more I spent. And one thing led to another, man. And then it was just like, it just caught up to me. And like, I don't really talk about it very much, you know. I just kind of say, you know, I was addicted to drugs, and, you know, I got saved. And the bottom line is I came out of it, and, you know, now I am where I am today, which is, you know, a blessing. So, but yeah, it took me 28 years, you know, which is a long time.
Do you remember that moment? Did you have like a rock bottom moment, or?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, like I had a house, I had a truck, I had a car, and it just like slowly, just like my car went away that got impounded, right? It was just little things like that. Then my truck got stolen, I lost my house, and then I got fired from my job, and it was just kind of like snowball effect, you know? And then finally, I just remember I was walking from my buddy's house back to my mom's, because, shoot, phone's gonna die. Hold on a sec.
That's all right, man. So let me see. I got Victoria, Thomas. Hey, what's up, Thomas? I can't see the comments, but it's all right.
Yeah, I can't see any comments, but
yeah. So yeah, I see you, man. You look good.
Okay. So anyway, so what's that?
No, I was just gonna touch on that. Just so like, what kind of inspiration and all that? I know you're really faith-based. That's cool. And I know that was probably a huge point of it. So we want to touch on that, and then like just how positive thinking and all that came into, you know, just your growth out. Because I feel like there's somebody out there right now watching that, you know, might be dealing with it, or might have somebody dealing with it, and might not just have not only questions, just know there's hope, you know?
Oh yeah. So, yeah, basically I got saved. I mean, I pretty much, you know, had a talk with God on the walk home, and it was like, you know, he was basically telling me, you know, that's it. You know, I knew if I would have taken it any farther, it would have got worse, and I didn't want to start stealing from family and that kind of stuff. So I basically made the choice myself to basically man up, you know.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it was. And after I went to rehab, you know, it was just like, it's a whole new life, you know. Once you make that choice, it's just, you don't know how to live that way. You know, it's everything's new. You know, you have emotions, you have, you know, just, you actually have relationships, you know, you like feel like you're alive. So, I mean, it started with like, you know, going to AA and doing Oxford House and stuff. I mean, like the one thing I would tell somebody if they were planning on going to rehab is don't go to rehab and then go home. Like, you know, I don't know how many people have done that over and over and over, you know, and it's like,
you get right back in the same environment. Yeah.
Have an excuse, you know, I have to do this, I have to take care of my kids, I have to do, you know, whatever it is. And, you know, and then a couple months later, if that, you know, they're back, their kids aren't going to see them, they're loaded. So it's like you have to take that time and get clean for yourself, you know, figure out who you are, and then work on your family, you know what I mean? Otherwise you're just going in circles. So, but yeah, I went to Oxford, and then I got saved. I was going to the Morning Star, and I got baptized, got saved, and that really changed my whole outlook on life, you know. Living for Jesus is just, you know, I can't really put it into words. It's definitely, I have had my highs, you know, my peaks, and I still have my lows, you know. It's not like, I wanted to tell people, it's not that I got saved and baptized and then all of a sudden everything, you know, is perfect, you know, because that's not the case. You have your highs and your lows, you know. I've gone through one of my biggest struggles, even after that, even being sober, you know. So, I mean, I had to, you know, situate and check myself, you know, but after that, it was like, you know, I got back into church, you know, I got veered away from it, and, you know, fell back into things. It's like, it happens, you know, it's not like it doesn't happen.
Like I always say, you know, I have really high highs, man. Like there's times where I'm vibing, bro. Everything's clicking. But then when there's lows, man, you know, it seems like the lows are really low. But I always say like my little thing I've said it on here before, but it's like 99 out of 100. You know, like as long as I'm getting 99 good days, man, when I have that bad day, I just keep thinking like, you know, I just have to get through this one and I know I'm going
Yeah.
to be good. You know,
Yep.
it's like that. You know, that just goes for anybody with, you know, any spirituality or whatever. It's that hope, that faith, you know, that's going to push you and get you through it. And I think that's huge, man. That's like with me, like, you know, I don't put a lot of people think I post a lot of stuff and whatever, but a lot of
Sorry.
it's, that's right. A lot of it's, you know, not super personal. I haven't put a lot of my story out there.
Yeah.
I will at some point, but I've dealt with similar things as you have. And it's just now, man, when things bad happen, it's just having that faith that, you know, everything is going to work out. And it doesn't just magically work out. As you know, you got to work for it, but it kind of gives you a direction and it kind of, you get that feeling of when you know you're in the right direction. So I'm going to touch on, and then let's see. So how did, so is there any more about like your, like kind of explain like how the fitness worked into it in your transformation back?
Yeah, that's a little bit of my life. Yeah.
Yes.
So basically that was kind of like, aside from the church, you know, it was kind of my crutch at, you know, because starting day one in rehab, I was, you know, I've always grown up, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger and watched, you know, muscles and, you know, ever since I was a child. Obviously I couldn't do that being loaded. So that was kind of just the first thing. I just kind of slid into it, you know, and it was perfect. And I just was like, from day one, it was just every single day. And it was like, that was my addiction, you know. I feel like it's like for everybody, they're going to have that one thing, you know. You can't just be sitting around and not doing anything. You have to be active, whether it's fishing or it's, you know, golfing or whatever it is. You know, you got to have like a passion for something aside from,
like these videos.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like just man up and all that. Yeah. Like it's, you definitely gotta, like I've addictive personality as well. And I know that, I can't be stagnant, man. You know, that's when I start getting in my feelings. I start
getting to your head and
like I go, people are like, dang, how do you have the time? I go hiking and doing all this stuff. And it's like, I can't not do it. You know, like I know what not doing that stuff gets me, you know? And
you're always going to have the people that are, you know, questioning what you're doing and you know, the naysayer stuff like that, you know. I get that all the time, you know, he's doing this and he's doing that. And at the end of the day, you know, it's not about anybody but yourself, you know. You got to do what you do to stay sane, to stay, you know, on top of things. So it's like, you got to do whatever you got.
It's like, as long as the people that matter to you in your life, as long as they know, and those people usually don't even need an explanation. You know, they see the smile on your face, they feel it, and they know that you're good, you know? So that's the same with me. And then once you see that, I mean, I know, man, once you see that pride on your mom's face, like there's nothing that matches that, you know, your family's face or whatever, like that's huge. But cool, man. So if you want to just kind of touch now, just kind of like what currently you got going on, what kinds of things you got going, and then what kind of things like daily do you use to push yourself to the, you know, like you're on a level, man, the fitness that you're doing, just kind of, I know it's a struggle, you know, to get up and just want to do it every day. So what kind of things do you use?
Basically, I mean, I just have for what I do in bodybuilding, men's physique and stuff like that, it's like, you got to really love what you do. And obviously you got to be positive all times, you know. You got to believe in yourself. I tell myself all the time, you know, when I'm getting ready to do something, it's like, whether it's a show or even just going to work, you know, going to the gym, it's like, all right, you're going to kill this workout, or, you know, you got to stay on your diet. You got to be hard on yourself today, or, you know, looking in the mirror and saying, you know, you're going to be number one, you're going to win, you know, you can do it, you know, stuff like that. Words of affirmation, I feel like are huge. It's a little bit awkward at first, you know, but you're basically talking to yourself.
Right. Calling yourself amazing is kind of awkward at first, you know?
Yeah. It's just like,
I do it now too. So like,
it's just like when you're first starting to, you know, work on being positive, you know, work on yourself, you know, it's like smiling when you don't feel like you need to smile, you know, like you don't want to smile, like you have nothing. It's like, you got to kind of talk yourself into it almost, you know, and before you know it, it's like, it becomes routine. It's like I tell my clients, it's if you can do something for at least 21 days, it becomes routine, you know. It's something that becomes natural and you do it automatically without even
Right.
knowing.
Isn't that like, I think that's like scientifically, right? Scientifically
Yeah,
proven
yeah,
21 days to make or break a habit.
pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you want to change something, it's like you got to consistently do it, and you got to you got to really want it. So
Well, I know like with me, that was definitely huge, man, is it was all a package thing, you know, it was all mind, like being positive. Because if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have been able to go to the gym, or I wouldn't have been able to go run these sunset runs that I used to do, or things like that, you know?
yeah,
It was lonely at times because I didn't want to put a lot out there, and I had a really sterile environment just because I only wanted to let in. You know, it's kind of like I think like dieting and all that, right? Like if you go through
yeah,
and you're trying to cut really fast or whatever, it's just you're really to the detail, and it's kind of the same in life. You know, if everything just seems like they're coming at you at once, you gotta compartmentalize that. You know, you gotta figure out, you know, all right, these people I know for a fact are good and they only care about me.
yeah,
So just let those people in, and then slowly by slowly let other people in. And, you know, it's not really about keeping guards up and things like that, you know, later on. It's just you feel it, man. You know who's on your team and who's not on your team. So
yeah, yeah, and that's all that matters. Yeah, and like what I was gonna tell you is like I went through after my last relationship. I had to sit myself down basically and tell myself this is when I got back into church, you know, because I was away from it for so long. It's like, man, I was dealing with so much pain. It's like I didn't know which way to go. So I was like, I got back into church, and then, you know, I was trying to find. I was like, okay, I'm looking for, you know, I'm gonna try to date a couple girls, you know, try to get away from trying to feel like that, you know, getting that
hmm
feeling. And
I know what you're saying.
it didn't work. It didn't work, you
I know
know.
what you're
I,
saying. Yeah.
I dated a couple girls, and I just had no interest, you know. There was
Right.
nothing there. I just told them sorry. I just can't do it. And finally, I just told myself, you know, you're not going to date anybody. So I didn't do anything for 2 years. Didn't even hang
Wow.
out with girls. Just went to church, went to work, worked out. You know, finally got to compete because I never got to compete, and you know, so that took up a lot of my time. But it wasn't
Yeah.
until I did that and then like kind of truly figured out who I was, you know, and enjoyed myself and being happy. You know, I didn't feel like I needed somebody. And before that, it was like I had somebody constantly. If it wasn't one person, it was the next. You know, it was
Right.
just,
Just filling a void.
yep. So
Yep.
and then after that, now it's like, you know, I got my girlfriend now, and I'm happy, and you know, I feel like,
You guys
you know,
got a
I
funny
feel like
relationship, man. I see your posts. You'll be like selfieing yourself, and she'll be in the background doing something. And you're like, whoa. I love it though, man. And then she just added me today, and I've seen some of the posts where it's just
yeah,
great, man. It looks like
yeah,
you guys really vibe really well, and it's cool to
yeah,
see.
super cool, man. She's super cool. Yeah, it's
So
good.
you got a lot of fans on here, man. I was looking through when you were talking. There's a lot of people that's you know, just are really proud of you from Moses Lake, and some I don't know. Like, so I assume they're from, you know, I
Oh
see
yeah,
Roscoe on here, and Mark, and all that. Do you
I,
see the
I,
comments
I was
now?
trying to look, but I can't really. I see like one name, but I'm
Yeah,
trying to look at you, and I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
I'm
Well,
sorry, but I can't.
at the end, we'll kind of hit on that a little bit. So I don't know if anybody can kind of message real quick or put a message on there at what time, or unless you can see on yours what time we're at. I always think it's way longer than it is.
Yeah, I can't even see it.
But
It's only 20 minutes. It's like 7:20 right now.
oh, okay, we're way good. So
So,
so like what kind of timeline? Like when did like all this change occur, and then kind of like when did you start competing? You know, and then kind of where you're at right now, and then as far as that, where you're going in the future with it.
well, the timeline. I mean, after it's been 5 years. So 2012 was when I got
Wow.
baptized, February 12th, and then yeah, I was still in Oxford. I was living in Yakima, and then moved back to Moses Lake. And it wasn't till this last year that I actually did my first show, because I was living in Moses Lake, and then I was with my ex at the time, and then we moved here, and I think we're together for almost 2 years. And then yeah, it just I couldn't get to a show. It was just, you know, it was unhealthy and whatnot. You know, I'm not really going to talk about that, but yeah, after that, you know, after taking that time off, you know, that was just recently. So yeah, I kind of
So
got to.
when did you do like or so you just did your first competition this year?
Yeah, no, last year I did Emerald
Last year?
Cup last year, and I think it was the end of April is when they have it.
Oh, okay. And then are you just planning on doing them like yearly now, or?
Well, I did one just like last month, July 15th, and then So I qualified for like a national show, which is like in Vegas or Pittsburgh or Florida. I think there's a few of them, but I haven't decided. But yeah, so that's kind of my next, you know,
Next goal.
challenge I'm going to go after. So, and then I'm coaching, you know, training,
Right.
doing that kind of stuff now. So, keep me busy, and yeah, I really like it. So,
Right. So let's kind of hit on like goals. Like, how, I mean, I know, you know, they're important, but how often do you, you know, reevaluate your goals, you know, as far as fitness and personal, you know, and just like how often do you reevaluate them and how often do you set them? You seem like a goal smasher to me. So I know you probably, you know, the short-term ones, you just kind of nail them, but, and then kind of the focus it takes to get through it. If you want to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, it's, I try to set, you know, more short-term goals because
Right.
they're more accessible, you know, they're more, I can actually like
How far out are you saying?
like, okay, well, so, I mean, I have my long-term goals. Like I want to get my pro card, you know, I want to be able to do big shows. I want to do like supplement lines, be sponsored by, you know, companies. That's kind of like, and I know I can do that. And that's the kind of stuff I tell myself, you know, that I can do, you know.
It's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no reason why I can't, you know.
For sure. Yeah.
Aside from that, like, my short-term goals are like, basically staying on track, you know, like right now I'm trying to get involved in my church a little bit more, you know. I'm doing a thing. It's growth tracks. It's, just to get involved, you know. And anytime I do that, it's just, it makes everything better, you know. You get a group of people, and so.
Oh, definitely.
That's my shorter term stuff.
So do you do a lot of fitness stuff? Do you do a lot of stuff in your church as well?
What do you mean fitness stuff in my church?
You know, all the coaching and all that you do you do that as well in the church or?
No, it's outside of the church. I mean, they see all the stuff and we interact, but most of the time it's just like people hear or they see I'm training somebody or, you know, stuff like that, my posts, and they'll direct message me or hit me up, and then that's kind of how I go, and then, you know, set up consultations and we get, you know, just get started. So
what do you think one of the I know I've hit you on Messenger with some questions and all that. What do you think for somebody that is like I was about a year ago, you know, like didn't even think fitness, you know, like, of course I thought it, like I want to be this or I want to be that, and I'm not even close yet. But what do you think the biggest hurdle is for people?
The biggest hurdle is just like sticking with it, like making a plan and sticking with it, you know. It's kind of, it kind of goes back to what I said about believing in yourself, you know. You got to believe that you can do it before you'll actually be able to do it, you know. I can't believe that you can do it and then you don't believe that you can do it. I mean, that's not going to do anything for you, you know. You don't have to actually like feel like, you know, you're capable of doing it. Otherwise you're just going to go in circles or you're going to quit or this and that, you know. So I feel like for someone that's just getting started, it's just to, like I said, set a short-term goal, whether it's 5-10 pounds, you know, just something simple. When you reach it, you know, you just get that much more motivated every time. So, you know, if you set something that's, you know, way out of reach, you know, 6 months, a year down the road, you want to lose 100 pounds. It's like,
where do you even start?
Do that. Yeah. But it's like, if you, most likely it's going to feel like it takes too long. So that's when people quit, you know, so yeah, it's short-term goals. And then one after another, and before you know it, bam, you hit that, you know, you hit that 100 pounds in 8 months, 9 months, you know. And
I know. I had a thing pop up on my Fitness Pal the other day that was like, you've reached, or it was like, have you reached? Because I haven't really put anything into it. I haven't really used it, and it was like, have you reached this goal weight? I'm way past that. Like I was like, oh shit, that's what I wanted to be in the year. You know, I was like, dang, that felt good though. You know, and I know for me,
and then it makes you like. It makes you go harder. It makes you get, you're in the gym even more. You know.
So that's why we say, like, honestly, I don't even really like the gym. I'll probably get to like it, but I love the results, man. Like, I don't know, like I like hiking and doing that kind of stuff, but I'm starting to really really just enjoy the feeling of going there and how you feel when you leave, you know, like all that. I haven't really got into any like community there. I'm sure that would probably help people if they're going to start a gym or whatever. And the thing is, man, like you know, for anybody's out there that's just starting or whatever, and you're like embarrassed to go to a gym or whatever, trust me, I know exactly how you feel. I didn't start in a gym. You know, I probably had the wrong plan, but I stuck to it, and it was something better than I was doing. And it started doing results. Like I was just drinking smoothies and eating apple sandwiches and walking. And my thing was always like, I'm not going to pay attention to the weight. I'm just going to keep going and going and going. Because I heard a
Yeah.
thing once, like you weigh yourself and then you get, you know, false affirmation. And you're like, oh, I can go have this cheeseburger. I lost 15 pounds, you know?
Yeah, I lost some weight.
And so that was for me, man, was just consistency and sticking with it and not expecting results. You know, like I knew they were going to come. Actually, I'll be honest, I didn't know they were going to come. I just kept doing it. I was like, you know what, I'm going to keep doing it and working on. Yeah. And then when it, like I seen the weight or I felt the weight and kind of seen it when I checked the scale going off. And then it wasn't until, you know, a really close friend was like, you got to get different clothes. Like you're looking silly already. You look like a hobo. Yeah. So like I went, Snapchatted him, was like, what about this? What about it? Was all the whole charade, man. It was funny, but it felt good, man. It felt good to try on different clothes. And now it's just like more and more, you know, now it's when I really got to get like really pinpointed on what I'm doing and all that. But yeah, so if anybody out there right now is, you know, struggling with that, and you have me as a friend, hit me up. You know, if it's something, you know, maybe I could shoot a question to Jordan. He obviously does this for like a living. So it's nothing he can, you know, like give you a whole meal plan. Of course he can if you, do you even have any spaces available right now or no?
Oh yeah. I mean, and then if there's questions, whether it's like fitness or if it's just, you know,
but if they're like, build me a meal plan, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you get that a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get people that just, you know, I mean, I make a living out of it too. So it's like, you know, I try to be as nice as I can as far as like helping people out if they just have a question real quick, you know. But yeah, like I was saying, it's like, if anybody if they have a question or they just want to talk, and it doesn't have to be about fitness. It can be about whatever, you know, dealing with issues. Just like we talked about drug addiction and stuff like that. It's like, that's the kind of stuff that I like to help people, you know. If they have something, if they're dealing with something, it's like they need an answer, you know, or they need to know what works for me aside from this video. It's like, feel free, you know, hit me up, direct message me anytime, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I know I get a lot of ones on like relationship and how to get out of a marriage and all that. And I'm not an expert at any of that. I just know what worked for me. So I kind of try to, it's just basically keeping, that's how I kind of came up with that whole like positive thinking, man, can get you through a lot. You know,
it's your perspective, you know?
Right. Like that. It's like looking beyond that, right?
Yep.
Is not seeing that as like a dead end and thinking that's it. I know I always say like, aside from death, like really death in the family or something like that, that's just tough. You can't really, you know, positive your way through that, but you can help going out of it. But
there's definitely, I believe in, there's a reason for everything, you know? Behind every struggle, there's a purpose, you know, behind everything. And if you can,
so like on that, like your situation you went through when you were younger and all that, do you look back on that now and do you think like,
don't regret it at all? Nope.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
I wouldn't change anything, because if I changed it, who would I be today? You know, I like who I am. So it's like, I don't want to change my past, because, you know, it got me to my present. You know, who knows if I would be where I am in my faith if that didn't happen to me, you know, who knows? So
if you want to hit on a couple questions, I see one here. Hey, Chris, I see yours where it says, what advice would you give to someone who's trying to reach out to somebody they love with an addiction? So basically, like if they have a friend that's going through an addiction, what advice would you give that person to deal with it for their friend?
Basically, all you can really do for someone that's in that state of mind is just give them your support, basically. I mean, you can want it for them as much as you want, but at the end of the day, they have to want it for themselves.
Right.
If you're checking them into rehab, you know, 99% of the time they're going to either check out or they're going to be back on it when they get out. So, like, what I would say is just, you know, bring it up to them. You know, if you want to have a sit-down talk with them, more than likely, if they're not ready, they're probably going to shrug it off. Just kind of that's how it is, you know. They're going to probably roll their eyes and, you know, but as long as you let them know, I think that's really all you can do, you know. So
yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I know when I went through my situation, some of my closest friends would just be like, man, you ain't right. You know, you ain't right. And I knew to avoid. That's why I always say, like, if you're avoiding the people in your life that make a huge difference and you really respect their like your mom or whoever, you know, if you're avoiding them, you're probably not doing right, you know, because you don't want to hear it.
yeah, all you can really do is say that, like, I'm there for you. You know, if you need me,
Exactly.
if you're struggling, if you want help, if you're ready, you know, I'm here. So you just gotta say that, and that's pretty much
Yeah, I think you nailed
it.
it, man. Crystal, that's a good one right there. I think you nailed it on that. Is just do that. Just show, just say like, I'm here when you need me. Like, I know you're struggling,
Let
but
them
when
know you
you're
love them.
ready, I'm here. Yep, and let them know you love them for sure.
Yep.
Dang, you got a lot of people popping on. Hey, Martha, that's so true. She's like, everything we go through makes us who we are. Truly believe that for sure.
Yep.
Um, so let me see. Let me try to pop up another question on here. I don't know what. What's up, Roscoe? Best
Roscoe.
gym. Oh, so they're trying to get you to call. If you're comfortable with this or not, I don't know how your industry is, but Amber's
What?
asking what the best gym in town is. I
In what
assume she
town?
means most. I assume she means most. Like, he lives in Portland. Don't you live in Portland, Vancouver?
No, I live in Monroe.
Oh, do
Oh,
you?
sorry.
Where
Yeah,
where the
just
heck is Monroe?
it it's like, I don't know if you know where Everett is, but it's just basically
Yeah.
the
Okay.
Seattle area, north of Seattle.
Why did I think Portland? Were you in Portland?
Never.
Oh. Oh wow. He's like, don't even dare
No,
you.
it's all good.
Gabe's like, I'm into fitness, fitting the whole pizza down my throat. He always comes on with some hilarious stuff.
How
Let's
you
see
looking
here.
at that? I can't see any of that stuff.
Do you see anything at the bottom of the screen there? Like anybody
I
that's
mean, I
on,
see
or
like J
you
and
can
J
scroll to
Moment.
the left or right,
Yeah,
like
I
where
can
you
just
see
see like
names.
one comment at a time. So
Yeah, that's it. And you just got to kind of scroll on them. If you scroll all the way up, it'll take you to the bottom. All right, so
um,
let me read Ashley's comment here. Ashley Perkins, do you know her? I don't know if
yep.
it's okay. She said, "My dad quit drinking and being an abusive alcoholic cold turkey. He found Jesus. I'm so thankful. He showed us what the love of God is. Thank you for your testimony, Jordan. Jesus changed his lives." Right on,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I
Roscoe
like.
said, for sure. Roscoe said dedication. I think he's talking about when we were talking about how to get through stuff,
Yeah.
how to start it all out. Um, let's see what else we got on here real quick.
How far south? Chiron. Yeah. It just depends. Not past Seattle usually. I mean, it's usually a meet in the middle. You know.
Oh, do you go? I thought most of your stuff is like online, or do you go and
It is.
actually
I mean,
physically train?
no, I do. I do training one-on-ones. Most of it is coaching, just because a lot of the times people can't afford like constant training. So I offer it, and then usually I tell new clients that are new to the gym that they should get at least a couple training sessions. That way I can work on form, make sure they're doing it correctly, and
Right.
they're not in there wasting their time. So
Yeah, kind of set them up in a routine and all that. That's kind of what I had done for me is just do these things. Otherwise, you're going to be in there just pumping stuff that you really
yeah,
don't even have to be
moving
doing.
weight, yeah, not getting nowhere. Yeah,
I see Kimberly put your Instagram on there for people that want to DM, direct
yep.
message him. Hey, Matt. Matt joined up. I just sent your shirts out today, man. You should be getting them Saturday. Um, all right. So Krista said, thank you. That seems like it answered her question. Um,
Very welcome.
so right on, man. Yeah, like for sure. Watching you, everything you post, man, like it's always upbeat and positive, and it's great. I always say like I can never consider myself authentic because I never post any of the negative stuff. And
Yeah,
and sometimes I've thought about that and been like, maybe that makes you more real or whatever. But at the end of the day, I got to do what's best for me. And posting negative is not best for me. So
no, it's not best for anybody, and I would, yeah, and that would be my little tip for anybody. It's like, if you're gonna post something, no one wants to hear, how bad your day is going and stuff like that. The
right,
negative stuff in your life. It's like, if you need if you need to talk to somebody, it's like direct message them.
yeah,
Pray about it. I mean, I don't,
right.
you know,
Oh,
it's
you
like
gotta
people
love
need to be uplifted.
you gotta love the vague ones though. Where people are just like, why are you gonna be all whatever? And it's fun. I just look at them. I'm like, all right, cool. Just scroll on or hide. If it gets too much, I'll just hit the hide or whatever. But I don't know, man. To me, honestly, I think when you get on that positive mindset, man, those things pop out. I start seeing other people that are positive in it, and
Oh yeah,
it's what you're focusing on, really.
yep, it stands out. I mean, and then if you see somebody posting something, that's positive or something like that, it's like that's the kind of stuff that you actually look into. You read the first couple lines, and it's like, talking about something good that happened to them, and it's like, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know, maybe it's just because the journey I'm going through, but have you seen like an influx of people that are, you know, losing weight and trying to get healthy and all that, like just any more than before? Because to me, it seems like everybody is, but maybe it's just because of what I'm going through. Everything's popping
Yeah,
out, but
it's just what you're just noticing it because your mind's
right,
set on it. So you see it
right,
more. You know, you're not just scrolling through it. It kind of catches your eye and it, you know, catches your attention. So that's
right.
mostly why.
All right, so cool, man. I think maybe just basically end it with something that maybe somebody that's listening that you think, you know, maybe needs to hear some of your message or whatever, that way to get a hold of you, and then just kind of, you know, give them a little hope and a little direction or whatever.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, you can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. Pretty much, just send me a friend request. I mean, if you want to talk or you just have questions or you're dealing with something and you know you don't know, you need somebody to talk to and you don't know anybody to talk to. It's like, you know, it's as easy as that. You know, doors always open. So that would be
What
my.
did Roscoe say? Watching you, Jay, go from tagging along with little brother with just rumors to all the positive now. It's been great to see. I'm very proud. Definitely proud. That's cool, man.
Heck yeah. Thank you,
Yeah,
Roscoe.
I would have to echo that, man, for sure. You know, I never seen any of the negative stuff with you, you know, which is good. But just seeing to me, man, seeing anybody strive and seeing anybody, you know, reach their goals and just doing good, man. I love seeing it. You know, it gives me like
Yeah.
that like like people that want to see other people fail, man. Like I don't know, that's a personal issue, you know. And I feel like when you want to see people succeed, it's also a personal issue, you know. It just shows where your mind's at and where your heart's at and all that.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No one wants to see anybody fail. You know.
Yeah.
So
So
it's like,
cool, man.
yeah.
So thanks, man, for coming on the show. It was great having you. We've talked a lot about this. It went great.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm glad you had me here, dude. I love what you're doing. I was thinking, I'm like, man, this is what we need, you know. That's more of this kind
yeah.
of thing is what people need to hear, you know. More
Yeah.
positive things going on. So
And
yeah,
so what I'm gonna do, just so you know as well, is I'll take a day and I'll pull these off, and then I'll get the audio strip from it and put it on SoundCloud. Because I know a lot of people, I don't have time to watch live videos. I
yeah,
honestly, even going back and watching them, I really don't have time. So it'll get on SoundCloud. I'll email you, you know, later, message me or whatever, and I'll email you the link so you can send it out to everybody that's on here supporting you or whatever. If they
okay,
want to, maybe there's somebody that needs a little hope or whatever, and can just listen to your story and, you know, how you came out of it and, you know, everything you used to come out of it for inspiration, all that. But cool, man. Thanks a lot, man. I'm
awesome.
going to end it. So I'll see you
All
on
right,
Instagram, Facebook, all that we're on. So
all right,
everybody,
man.
thank you.
God bless. Thanks,
See
bro.
everybody later.